Hello, everybody. Welcome to part one of our Injustice Year 1 comic book series. We're going to go through the entire series, all the years, but this is Year 1. So part 1, and starting off with the very first issue today, we're going to jump right into it. I'm Black Cyborg, joined by temporary username, and what's up?
What's up?
All right, let's get into this, the nitty-gritty. So how this is going to work is we're just going to kind of go step by step through the comic, things we noticed, things we wanted to talk about, discuss, that we jumped out at us from the comic book. Either way, however you want to put it, and we'll go from there and then summarize our thoughts in the end. So we'll jump right into this. Right off the bat, on page 1, I made a little funny note. The marching army in the bottom left hand of the actual page, the marching army, they're almost doing kind of like the Nazi step. I wonder if that was intentional to kind of, obviously the whole Superman approach being very dictatory and all that fun stuff. You think that was intentional?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, maybe kind of like a mix because, yeah, the Nazi step is very apparent. But when you think red marching, I think Russia. I think Stalin. So
Sure.
I guess it's kind of like a hybrid of those two symbols.
Yeah, that's fair. The next thing I noticed was actually on page 1 as well, and that was that the just a little funny note. It says Iron Fist rules the world. It said the Iron Fist rules the world, and then it jumped to the next bubble and continued it was the Iron Fist next bubble of the Man of Steel. I just saw the Iron Fist rules the world. It made me think of Iron Fist from Marvel, and
It
I just
did
thought
make me
that was
giggle a
funny.
little because I kind of pictured it for like a nanosecond. But
Yeah.
then
He rules the world with an iron. Okay. Anyways, just a little silly thing. Okay, so now we're actually getting into the meat and potatoes, the feels of the comic, and what I think this comic actually does so well. And that is, I wrote down here, and I need to move my notes over here, so I'm actually looking closer to the camera as I read these. Anyways, I wrote down next in my notes is actually on page 2, so it actually gets really good really quickly, in my opinion. And that is, I love Clark hearing the heartbeat from Lois and how they present that whole thing. The fastest man's faster than a speeding bullet, locomotive more powerful than locomotive, leaps tall buildings, all that fun stuff. But I love the idea of the super hearing the child's heartbeat for the very first time, or the baby's heartbeat. I thought that was very genuine. I love the interaction between Clark and Lois. That whole 2 or 3 pages of them interacting, I thought was just gold. I really thought it was tremendous. I love the lighting. I love the artwork. All of that. And I also love, to kind of cap that off, I love that Clark was the one freaking out about the baby, like getting everything right about the baby. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to make sure to do this. And I love Lois's quips back at him. Like, she was all calm and collected, taking everything in stride. And she's like, oh, I'm glad that our baby has a high school already. Like, that it's so usually typically the other way around, where the wife is the one kind of freaking out, making sure everything's good to go and everything's right, and the husband's just kind of trying to keep up with her. I thought it was very tremendous to have Clark be the one that's just going a million miles a minute, and she's just trying to calm him down and tell him to relax, and even throws a book at him. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it a lot, of course. It's such an interest. It is kind of melancholy, though, because one problem with not a problem, but we know how it ends. We know what Clark
Sure.
becomes, and it makes it that much more sad. But suspending that for a moment, there is a lot of joy there because it says a lot about Superman, because Superman doesn't save people because it's his job.
Yeah.
Superman saves people because he really does care. And this is something he loves so much. This is his child. So it's such a logical response from Superman. It fits so well. But once again, though, it sucks because, in 5 years, he's going to be murdering children.
Spoilers.
So. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the
Jeez.
way, everyone, there's going to be spoilers coming. There's going to be lots of spoilers.
Jeez. Threw away the end of the series in issue 1.
Well, it's more like I guess near the end, like middle act of the end.
Gotta put on my Clark Kent sunglasses. Not sunglasses, glasses, not sunglasses. Clark Kent's sunglasses even be? Anyways.
Can we see you right now? Are you seeable?
You can see me if you want. They can see
Well, I
me.
mean, not me. Okay, they can see you.
Yeah, this is gonna be
I
a
didn't know
video.
that.
This is gonna be video.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, all that fun stuff. But either way, Um, okay, so next point. Do you have anything you want to cover? Because I do have more points that I want to go over.
Not here, no. That
Okay.
covers pretty much everything after that. Well, actually, one more thing. When she says, "Don't worry, Jimmy will be there to take care of me," immediately I just picture Jimmy getting shot.
There's a crooked with the things. Yeah, no, yeah. Jimmy was pretty much
Immediately,
fodder
first thing
right
that came
away.
to mind. So yeah, but go on.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying, yeah, Jimmy was just pure fodder in this issue. Like he was just there for a setup and to give you those, oh, this is actually serious because Jimmy, yeah, he's a side character, he's a sidekick type of character, but to actually have him just killed that easily kind of showed you that the gloves were off right away and that they're not holding back. And I think that was important for the series as a whole to kick off that way because it shows this isn't going to be playing it safe. This isn't where everybody escapes harm in the end. Obviously, we find that out by the end of the issue. But I
Yeah,
think
oh, yeah.
starting that off with Jimmy was kind of, setting the table for things to come.
Yeah,
But
no, I agree.
yeah, the next thing I had actually is jumping all the way to page 13 because a lot of that stuff is leading up to some good stuff. But I love um, the interaction between Batman and Superman. I love that Batman knows Lois is pregnant based on Clark sweating and his demeanor and his pupils dilating and all that fun stuff. So I love that Batman just right away knew it before Clark even had the chance to say it or Superman or whatever. I thought that was a cool moment.
And the smile tipped him off too. That smile on his
Yeah,
face, because he's Superman's kind of a big dumb oaf sometimes.
yeah,
So it's yeah, the
yeah. He
lack of
even mentions that. Yeah, he's like grinning like an idiot.
yeah. There's a definite transparency to Clark, and I think that's really cool.
Absolutely. And then next thing I had on there was Batman smiling after Superman says he heard the heartbeat. I thought that was a really cool moment. Obviously, you don't get a whole lot of smiles from Batman. He's very grim, very serious all the time. But I like that. I like that Superman's comment about surprising the world's greatest detective, about being, him asking him to be the child's grandfather, and then telling him, telling him that he heard the child's heartbeat made Bruce smile. I thought that was a cool moment once again. A lot of
Oh yes.
genuine, yeah, a lot of genuine feels in this. I felt like very good interactions between the characters, very strong writing for what it was. I mean, I'm not saying this is, the best comic ever in terms of writing, but I liked a lot of the characterization that we've gotten thus far in just this first issue.
The writing's very clean. It's very clean and it flows very organically. It's very easy from see. It's like watching a movie, honestly. And the artwork is beautiful. Really good use of color. Just
Yeah,
gorgeous to look at.
absolutely, absolutely. The art so far is holding up well, and then we actually now it's when we get to Jimmy dying. So that happens just now, after that moment with Batman and Superman. And all I wanted to point out on this scene. I like how it shows Jimmy taking the picture, and then you have the gun, so it leaves a little bit of suspense there, page turner as you will. And then I like Joker's comment, "Oh, I got Jimmy on my shoe." Like I thought that was a nice line, very
Yeah.
Joker. So good stuff. And then next, jumping to page 21, I love that when they're calling the team together in a moment of urgency and everyone needs to get on there right away. I love that Flash is on the couch mid sentence. He's just on the couch eating chips. He's like, I'm and then all of a sudden he's zipping through Metropolis. And just mid sentence before he even finishes it, he's in his outfit somehow in Metropolis, zipping through the city, mid sentence finishing his sentence. I thought that was an awesome Flash moment.
Yes, I absolutely. I like they almost it's like an optical illusion where he almost looks fat when he's on the couch.
Yes, he
It's very
does.
effective. Yeah, I like it a lot.
It was good. I love that moment. I just had to point that out. And then next we jump to the next page. Is Scarecrow dead?
Yes, which creates problems for Injustice 2, if that leak list is correct, but maybe we'll get into that
Yeah.
now, later day, whenever.
Because, yeah, Scarecrow is just kind of slumped up against a counter or whatever, and he's holding some of his fear toxin as they're alluding to the rest of the issue, how it's going to end, which I thought was a good setup to kind of lay those seeds down there. But, yeah, he's just laying there with his eyes open. Either he's really knocked out, or this is a case where he dies and then maybe gets brought back to life for Injustice 2 if he's in there. Because supposedly these comics are supposed to be canonical to the game. I know they always say that, and then there's discrepancies between the comic and the games, but Injustice 2's comic was announced, and it's supposed to be canonical. So, anyways, not to belabor that point, but yeah, I was just kind of like, Scarecrow dead? I hope not. Next, jumping all the way to page 30, we're getting close to the end here. I love that Flash was carrying Batman piggyback style. And I like how Joker calls him out on it. He's like, wait, were you just carrying Batman? And then making fun of him. But I like how just in that one panel, you see Batman in the piggyback style. Because beforehand, he was kind of like running, holding Batman. And then in the later panel, he's full on piggyback style. That's tremendous.
It's great. No, I agree. I absolutely agree.
And that's really all I have, other than the very end. It ends with the setup basically is it turns out that Joker tricked Superman into thinking that Doomsday was on a submarine and holding Lois and the baby captive, of course. But looks like he mixed up some kryptonite with fear toxin so that way Superman would ingest it. And he saw Doomsday. He takes, flies Doomsday out into outer space to get rid of him, get him away from the danger, get the danger away from Lois and all of that. Well, Superman wasn't seeing who he thought, it wasn't who he was seeing, so to speak. And Batman warns him of this, but it's too late. And he just flew Lois into space, and her heartbeat stops. In a very sad moment, I thought it was actually really effective, gave me a little bit of the feels, and they do the whole 2 heartbeats now become none because she dies right there. And her death triggers a bomb, which actually explodes in Metropolis that probably is going to kill many people, but we're left kind of on a cliffhanger there. Your thoughts?
Yeah, very good. I guess for highlights, I like the idea of Joker saying, "Did you know she was pregnant?" This is right after Lois died in the coldness of space, and Batman punches him in the face. And Batman. It depends on which Bruce Wayne you're looking at. My favorite Bruce Wayne is the animated series Bruce Wayne, and that Bruce Wayne has a lot in common with the traditional Clark Kent.
Sure.
It's kind of unfortunate that Bruce Wayne changes a lot from rendition to rendition. We don't really have a consistent Bruce Wayne in films, or even the animated movies for that matter.
Sure.
But in the animated series, they do share a lot of qualities. The biggest difference between the two is pain. Batman harbors a lot more pain than Clark does. So his altruism manifests very differently.
Right.
But you connect the smile and you connect the dots to the punch in the face with Joker, and the 2 scenes are deeply connected. I mean, that's really important, I think, where, his happiness for Clark, but also his attachment to Clark, sort of comes full circle when he realizes that the baby he was smiling about is now dead. I like that. I think that's good literature, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, no, I completely agree. But yeah, there was a lot of touching moments, just to wrap this up. There was a lot of touching moments between Clark and Lois. Great interactions between the heroes, as we saw. Great characterization of the heroes, like Flash and Batman, the interaction between Batman and Superman. And even the Joker finally, pulls one, like a big thing off, and the fact that they'd kill Lois like that was definitely a shock, and very powerful how it was done, and very smart, like actually clever how they set that up. I thought it was actually a reasonable way to make that happen. And if we're gonna buy Superman going into madness and going as far as he does, I thought that was an effective way to do it. Your closing thoughts?
I guess I agree with that. I guess one thing, I guess my closing thoughts are, whenever I heard these stories, they were summarized to me. I did not buy the comics back in 2013 when Injustice was on the horizon. So everyone told me on a forum post what happened.
Sure.
And it sounded clever. It sounds more so clever in the comic, but it dramatically works a lot better when you read it, which I guess is true of everything.
Right.
But still, it's a very well crafted story, and it looks beautiful. I never anticipated it'd be this good. I never really had a desire to read Injustice ever, so I'm pleasantly surprised for sure.
All right. Well, that wraps up this one. I'm excited for the next issue. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited.
It's a good start. It's a good start to the series, and I look forward to more episodes. Make sure to check out issue 2. We should be putting that out tomorrow, so we should be getting these out every single day going forward. Each issue every single day. We're going to try and stick to that pattern. and hopefully we'll get through the entire series by the time Injustice 2 comic launches. And you guys take care. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we have a lot more coming, and hopefully you guys dug it. Great issue. Looking forward to the next one. See you guys later.
Take care, everybody.